Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel, and today we have a few wee things to catch up on ahead of Celtic's trip to Pittodrie this weekend, a trip which still sees no reinforcements in the front line. And going off some of the things we'll talk about today, we still don't have any real credible links with an attacker as of yet. However, we do have a little bit of an update on the Adam Obert stories which came around yesterday, and Celtic face fresh punishment from the SPFL. So, a fun afternoon for you. If you haven't already, please make sure to hit like and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. Keep in mind as the new season starts that the 118 and Thunder Club will be seeing its fresh and exclusive content over the course of the entire 25-26 campaign, including Football Manager streams, exclusive Q&As, and the Thunder Club, which is an extra half-hour podcast for all members. You can join that in the top line of the description. But let's get into today's news, shall we? So yesterday we covered the news story surrounding Adam Obert, the Slovakian centre-half who has been linked with Celtic in the past 24 hours, and stories from Italy, where he currently applies his trade, were suggesting that Celtic have already launched a bid for the player, which was thrown out by Cagliari, the side he currently plays for in the Italian Serie A. Now today more details have emerged of that supposed bid, and a little bit of clarification has been given to what was quite a confusing scenario altogether. After signing Jemai Simpson-Pusey over the last few days, centre-half didn't seem like an area that we really had to touch on, at least with any sort of urgency anyway. We want attacking players, but this was the story that took over yesterday, and fresh reports in Italy have finally given details about how much money might have been on the table. So this was a report from Calcio Castedo, which is a publication which primarily follows the ongoings of Cagliari, the side that Adam Obert plays for. They said that among the Cagliari players with the most suitors is Adam Obert. The Slovakian defender has recently been targeted by several foreign clubs, but they have been unable to meet the club's demands. In particular, Belgian side Antwerp, who have came in, and Scottish side Celtic have been eyeing the player. However, the proposed figures are currently around €3.5 million compared to the 6 to 7 million euros that Cagliari are considering. The gap remains significant, but unexpected developments cannot be ruled out. So Celtic's bid reportedly in the region of €3.5 million, €3 million, which is about 2 or 3 million short of what the club are looking for. That's what I kind of thought would be the case. I said that yesterday. I speculated that might be the situation we're looking at, and that seems to be confirmed. If this bid is real and it has been something that Celtic are looking at, then this is the situation we currently sit with, and it's one that matches up basically how the whole summer's been going. Celtsar here also gave a brief update yesterday via Aaron Hare on Twitter. They said that there is no offer on the table at the moment, in quotation marks, which might suggest that Celtic haven't actually put a bid in yet, but doesn't rule out that one will come or one will follow, if the reports in Italy should be believed. So it is one of these situations that does seem unclear. I don't think anybody truly knows what's going on with it. I think you can only speculate, especially after Brendan Rodgers spoke about how the attention will turn to attacking players in the next few weeks of the window. Yeah, I think once again, I'll say what I said yesterday. He looks a good player, somebody I'd happily bring into Celtic. I just don't think it should be the priority over the next week or two when we clearly need wingers and probably need a centre forward. Cagliari definitely have the upper hand with negotiations should Celtic continue to pursue an alleged move. He has 4 years left on his current contract. It expires in the summer of 2029. He's only 22 years of age. Somebody who's been looked at by a couple of sides, as we're hearing. Cagliari definitely have the advantage. And if Celtic want him, they're going to have to pay. Will they go and pay as much as €6.5 million? Well, I have my reservations considering how this window has went, but I think that's money that would be best placed elsewhere at this moment in time. It's something that we might be able to revisit as the window goes on. I certainly like the idea of bringing in a defender who is capable of playing left back and the left centre half, primarily left centre half, but also can fill in at the left hand side of a defence anywhere. But aye, it's a bit of a weird one, and an update today is appreciated, but I still think that it's all a bit up in the air. The phrase up in the air is quite fitting and applies to most of Celtic's transfer business this summer because everything feels a bit, well, up in the air. So that continues over to the attacking players. Last night, rumours started doing the rounds of a winger who is apparently linked with Celtic. However, as I kind of alluded to in the intro of today's video, I feel like it's probably a bit of nonsense. We'll cover it anyway. This was a headline that came out via Team Talk and Fraser Fletcher last night that suggested that Celtic are making a Danish winger their key target as Sunderland battle looms. It went on to say that basically Celtic are intensifying their summer recruitment drive with Brøndby's promising young winger Clement Bischoff emerging as a key target to bolster their flanks. Now that was apparently through sources towards Team Talk, a publication which has very little credibility when it comes to Celtic. I've made that clear a number of times. Fraser Fletcher, Team Talk, never ends well. Because very shortly following these stories, Celts are here discovered through, in their own words, sources close to Brøndby, that they're not aware of any interest from Celtic at this stage, and they confirmed that no official bid has been submitted. He remains a part of the early season plans at Brøndby, and as things stand, there is no movement from Parkhead. So all of that talk of intensifying interest from Celtic and bids in the offing and being a serious target for the club, it's all been rubbished in a matter of one evening. And a massive credit to Celts here, and I'm inclined to believe them because sources at Brøndby are something that's probably been picked up on by a lot of the Celtic media space in the last few years, especially with the years of being linked with Mathias Kvistgaard, and you know that's something that is very easy to pick up and build a connection with sources at Brøndby. So I am well inclined to believe it. So it came and went very, very quickly. It was a nice rumour to begin with, but I still see people today talking about Clement Bischoff and links with Celtic. Number one, it came from a terrible source, and number two, it was rubbished almost instantly, so we can basically throw it to the side. And to be honest, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with it being thrown to the side. I don't necessarily think that Clement Bischoff was the sort of player that we need right now at this minute. He's very inexperienced at the top level. 49 games for Brøndby, only 3 goals and 12 assists. That's 15 goal contributions, which isn't bad by any stretch, and he's definitely a player who looks to have potential, no denying that, but I feel like there's probably better players out there, and this is the problem that we've now got ourselves into as a Celtic support, and I don't blame us. I don't blame any Celtic supporter for having this problem right now, but as soon as we hear a winger's name now, we're going to get desperate, and we're going to think that that's the one that the club should go for, because there is just such a lack of stories or rumours or links out there. Doesn't matter what winger it is now, it feels like fans are probably going to be quite disappointed when it doesn't go the direction of Celtic signing them. And that's, the club's got the only place that we can put the blame. They've not directed themselves in the right manner in this window. We've got to this point with 25 days to go. There's no concrete links with a winger. So Celtic fans are going to get desperate. Celtic fans are going to want the first target to hear of. And for me, I'm okay with missing out on Clement Bischoff right now. That might be something that comes back to bite me in 5 years' time if he makes it to the Premier League and he's one of the biggest players in the world. But no, it's not one that I'm entirely heartbroken about. That it seems to be nonsense, to be quite honest. But I hope it's maybe a sign of things to come with winger links coming in the next few days. So essentially just wanted to let you know that it seems to be nonsense. But I do point you in the direction of yesterday's video if you haven't already seen it. We spoke about the Michel-Ange Balikwisha stuff. We spoke about the fact that the Daily Record are reporting that plates are spinning behind the scenes at Celtic to get the job done and wingers are being actively targeted. We just don't know any names yet. So it is frustrating. And patience is wearing thin basically everywhere amongst the Celtic support, including myself. But I'm hopeful that we'll get there. Somehow I'm hopeful, but that hope is draining, and it's draining fast. So the last story to cover today is in regards to disciplinary action that has been taken against Celtic fans by the SPFL. Now, I'll do you the favour of reading everything verbatim and I'll summarise it very, very quickly for you, but Celtic are facing a suspended restriction of supporters in the North Curve of Celtic Park following a pyrotechnic display against St Mirren on the final game of the season. You might remember it. It was during the game, pyro was set off down at the Green Brigade section of the stadium, and now the SPFL are set to take punishment. There is no fines mentioned for the club, I don't believe. Here is the actual sanction that has been imposed on Celtic: a suspended reduction of 200 tickets in the area of the stadium where the display took place. That will be triggered if another breach of the rules through pyrotechnic use by the supporters of Celtic in that area of the stadium through any SPFL competition on or before the 30th of June 2026. So here we go. Essentially, if Celtic fans in the Green Brigade use any pyrotechnics between now and the end of the season across league games or league cup games, then that will trigger a one-match ban in the Green Brigade, and Celtic will see the reduction of 200 tickets. So it only applies to the front section of the North Curve. 200 tickets will be taken away for one match, and that carries through until the 30th of June 2026. So no fines, I believe, no bans on a major scale, but a disciplinary action nonetheless. Right, that does it for today. It's a bit of a boring one, and I wish I could apologise for that, but it's no my fault that Celtic are doing nothing. So, direct your anger towards them, please, not me. I'll see you all next time. Take care, God bless, and enjoy the rest of your Thursday.